Let's take a scenario. Whenever we people are short of money, what do? We go to our family or friends and borrow money from them. On the same lines, if the government is short of money, then what will they do? They will also borrow money from their people. Really? Is it so? We will discuss this in today's video. Hello and welcome to the InFocus series section of Drishti IAS. I am 𝐈𝐀𝐒 and in today's video, we will be discussing about the government bond and the government bond price relationship with government bond yield. So let's see what we will be studying in today's video. Let's see the timeline of the video. First, we will be knowing that what is the news, then what are government bonds, then bond in particular we will be seeing what are the advantages of government bond, that why do people invest in government bonds, then what is bond yield, and after that we will be seeing that what is the relationship between the bond price, bond yield and interest rates. In the end, we will be looking into a prelims MCQ. This topic is very important from General Studies paper 3, economy, the banking section, and from exam perspective, it is very important for you to know about what is the relationship between the bond price, bond yield and the interest rates. So let's get started and see what is the news. And this news has been taken from the explained section of Indian Express, and it states what are government security yields and how and why do they go up and down. So in this news, there are two components. First is what are government securities and second is what are government security yields. And why is it in news? Because the government has recently said that they will not be changing the interest rates for the small saving instrument for the quarter of July to September because the government bond yields are on a rise. So let's first see that what are government bonds. See, government bond is a debt instrument which is issued by the government or any private entity. So it is kind of a loan that the government take from its people. So it is denominated in both foreign and domestic currency. So if it is asked that it is only denominated in domestic currency, then it would be wrong. It is denominated in both foreign and domestic currency. So what is it? It is a promise that government makes that you will buy our government bond, then we will pay you this much of amount after this many years at this many interest rate. So like for example, look at this picture. See, it is a treasury bond of United States. What we call government bonds in India is called the treasury bond in United States. So there are few things that whenever a bond is issued are predefined, that will not change even after many years, the time of the bond. So that is first the time period for which the bond is issued, second the rate of interest, and third the maturity amount. So let's see this. That time period is given that this bond was issued from 2002 to 2007 for a period of 5 years. So the interest rate is also given on it so that there won't be any confusion that what will be the interest rate and not. And in the end, the amount is also given that $1,000 would be the amount that needs to be paid in the end, the face value of the bond. So let's see that what is a bond. Bond is a fixed income instrument that represents a loan. See, loan is an important word. You need to understand that government is taking money from the people and are giving them a bond in return. So it is a fixed income instrument that represents a loan made by an investor to a borrower. Like for example, this is one person A and this is one person B, and if B needs money and A has surplus money, so A will lend money to B, like for example for 5 years time. A has given 1000 rupees to B for 5 years. So what will happen that after 5 years, what will B do? B will return first 1000 rupees. Is it so that B will only return 1000 rupees? No. What will happen to the 5 years time period for which this 1000 rupee is not with A and A has given it to B? Then B will also give some interest on it, say for example 5% or 10% or whatever interest that took place between A and B. So this is the concept how we borrow money and how we give money. So bonds are of two types. This is corporate bond and government bonds. See, corporate bonds or private bonds have high risk, but they also give higher returns. While on the other hand, government bonds are safe as compared to the private or corporate bonds, but they have low risk, but they also give low returns. So it's not that you can get everything. If you will get low risk and safety, then the returns will also be low. But if you will go with high risk, then the returns will also be very high. So let's see that, see, this is the bond yield chart which is of India since December 2021. If you will see that bond yield are on a rise. Then in March 2022 it has reached here, then April here, and around May it has reached to its all-time low, all-time high, and then it started coming low, but now again it is on a rise. So the bond yield is continuously on a rise since last few months. So we will just now see that what is bond and what is the relationship between the bond yields and bond. So let's see few of the major advantages that why government bonds are so popular among the people or why people go for government bonds is first that they pay a steady interest rate, income, return. Second is the low risk of default. The risk is almost nil because the authority that from whom we are buying the bond is the government, and it is unlikely that the government would default. Then it is considered to be the safest investment that one can make, as government cannot default or government is unlikely to default. So be it even if you will get less returns, even if as compared to other private entities which might give you higher returns, but their safety measure would be very less compared to the government bonds. So because of the safety measure, one can invest for a very long period of time of 5 years or 10 years. That is why people go for government bonds. Now let's see that what is bond yield. So we will just understand. See, let's take a scenario that this is A. A has bought a bond of rupees 1000 at an interest rate of 10% for 1 year. So after 1 year period, the 1000 rupees with 10% of interest, that 1000 10% is 100 rupees, will become 1100. So if A will get a bond from the government, then this bond of 1000 rupee after 1 year of time period with 10% of interest will become 1001 interest, will become 1100. Now let's also take a scenario that there is B. This scenario is that the government bond demand is high in the market. People are looking for government bonds in the market. Then what will happen? That from A, B will take the government bond. B will buy government bond from A. Then what will happen? That because the government bond demand is high in the market, the price of bond will go up. Then the bond which A has bought for 1000 rupee from A, B will buy for 1050 rupees on the same rate of interest, that is 10% for the same period of time, that is 1 year. So what will happen? Now that for 1000 rupees, 10% of rate interest, A was getting 1100 rupees. By investing 1000 rupees, A was getting 1100 rupees. A profit of 100 rupees A was getting. On the same lines, what will B get? B has bought the bond for 1050 rupees. So the profit that B will make in the end will be of 50 rupees. Then in the end, B will also get 1100 rupees. But what is the difference between A and B is the profit. A has made profit of 100 rupees, but B, because B has bought the bond from A at a higher price of 1050 rupees, the profit will be of 50. So as compared to A, B has made less profit. So what is this profit of 50 rupees? On 1000 rupees and 1050 rupees, A was making a profit of 100 and B is making a profit of 50, because the transaction between A and B is taking place in the secondary market. This profit that B is making on 1050 rupees of 50 rupees profit is called bond yield. This is called bond yield. The profit that one makes on the bond is called bond yield. So let's see this. What is bond yield? It is the return. It is the return that an investor realizes on the bond. So whatever amount we will earn on the bond apart from the principal amount is called bond yield. The 50 rupees that B made is called bond yield. So what is the formula that we get bond yield is coupon rate divided by current market price. So this is what happens. I hope you people have understood that what is bond yield. This is the most important topic from this video to understand what is bond yield, and we will also be looking into the relationship between bond price and bond yield. So see, yield is the percentage income that investors receive from a bond. So what are the factors that affect yield is monetary policy of RBI, interest rates, global markets, inflation and economy. We'll just be looking into this. So bond yield versus bond price. So see, as we saw this, let's take one more scenario. We have just seen what has happened with A. We have seen what has happened with B. Let's also see that if there is one more person, C, in this scenario, and what happens is if the government bond price is low and the government bond demand in the market is low. So if the government bond demand in the market will be low, then the price of the bond will also be low, because the people will not be looking to buy the government bonds. So the same 1000 rupee bond will be given at a lesser price, say for example 900 rupees, but the interest rate and the time period will remain the same. The interest rate will remain the same of 10% and the time period will remain the same of 1 year. So what will happen with the 900 rupees is, see, A got the bond 1000 rupee, then he got a 10% interest and will in the end make 1100 rupees. When the demand of the government bond in the market will be high, then the bond will be taken at a higher price. Then from A, B takes the bond at 1050 rupees and will make a profit of 50 after 1 year and 10%, then it will be, he or she will only make the profit of 50 rupees. So in the scenario of C, when the government bonds demand in the market is low, then the price of the bond will also become low. So the price comes down to now 900, and after 10%, same scenario of 10%, and after a time period of 1 year, then C will make a profit of 200 rupees in the end. So if you will see, if the bond price is high, the profit is low or the bond yield is low. If the bond price is low, then the bond yield is high. So the relationship between bond price and bond yield is inversely proportional. So bond price is inversely proportional to bond yield. See, this is the concept which is important from exam perspective. This is the, even if you do not remember all this thing, this is the concept that you need to remember from exam perspective, and this is what is asked, that how is bond price related to bond yield? They are inversely proportional. If the bond yield is high, bond price is low. If the bond price is high, bond yield is low. It is always inversely proportional. So let's see. See, bond yield versus bond price. As bond price increases, bond yield falls, and vice versa. See, if the bond yield is low, the bond prices are high, and if the bond yields are high, the bond prices are low. It is always inversely proportional. Always inversely proportional. You just have to remember that if the price is high, yield is low, yield is high, the prices are low. This is what you need to remember from exam perspective. Then let's take a look at exam rate versus bond price. See, for if you take the scenario that if there are government bonds in the market, and apart from government bonds, there are other aspects also like FD, RD in the market. So for, like, take a scenario that if the interest rate of FD and RD gets increased, if the interest rate of FD and RD are increasing, then what will happen? People will take out their money from government bonds and will try to invest it in FD and RD because they are getting higher interest rates there. So what will happen? If they will get, if they will take out their money from bonds and invest it in FD and RD, then there will be very less people who are looking to invest their money in government bonds. So it means the bond price will come down. When the bond price will come down, then the bond yield will increase. So if the interest rate will increase, because the demand of the government bond becomes low, the price of the bond will go down, the prices will fall, and if, try to remember the relationship that I've already told you, that they are the bond yield and the bond price are inversely proportional. They are inversely proportional. So if the bond prices will fall, then the bond yield will increase. So same way, if the interest rates will fall down, then people from FD and RD will take out their money and will try to invest it in government bonds. Then the demand for the bonds will increase in the market. Then if the demand for bonds will increase in the market, then they will be available at a higher price. So what will happen? If the interest rate falls, then the prices of the bonds will rise, and the relationship that I told you about, the inverse proportion relationship between the yield and the prices, is if the prices will rise, the yield will fall. So here also the yield is falling. I hope I'm making it clear to you. Even if you're not getting, just stop the video and listen it again and again, because the relationship is important. This is the thing which is asked in the preliminary examinations, and many examinations have already asked the relationship between the interest rate and the bond price and the bond yield. This is the point that you need to get from exam perspective. So the monetary policy of RBI we have already done. Then the interest rates we have done, that how, if it will increase, what will happen, if it will decrease, what will happen. Then the same scenario will be applicable to the global markets also. Then what will happen if inflation will be there? What is inflation? Inflation is when more money is in the market. So when more money is in the market, what will you try to do? You will try to invest it in the stock market or somewhere else. But if you have already invested your money in government bonds, the government bonds, no matter what the scenario is in the economy, they will give you the predefined interest rates that are already mentioned. So in the time of inflation, people try to invest their money at other aspects also instead of government bonds, because they think that they have a chance of earning better returns and getting better returns instead of what they will be able to get from government bonds, because they give a predefined interest rates which is comparatively little low. I hope you people are getting what am I trying to say. So in the end, let's see a prelims MCQ. If you have got the video, what I'm trying to say in the video, then you will be able to solve the prelims MCQ. Then this will become easy. If you are not getting, then this will become difficult for you to solve. So let's see. The Indian government bond yields are influenced. Influenced is the word that you need to see here. Is influenced by which among the following? First is actions of the United States Federal Reserve. Second, actions of the Reserve Bank of India. And third is inflation. And you people need to tell me the correct answer in the comment section. And you have to tell the correct answer, and the options are 2 only, 1 and 3 only, 2 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3 only. So let's see that who all have actually listened and have understood the video. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next time, keep reading and keep writing.